Hörst du mich?
Ja, perfekt.
Ach, schön.
Yeah. So, Monday morning Germany, Sunday evening in USA, right?
Yes. Yeah, my wife is already off to bed, but I told her I had an interview to do, or whatever I'll call it. So she was like, "Well, I'm
Yeah,
going to sleep."
I think we can call it a steel bending talk, not an interview.
Okay.
Got a huge interview with Cody many times, so I think, was enough said in an interview style.
That's fair.
So, yeah, good that that it's happened with our talk. And what do you think is better, German or English?
More people will understand in English. I think if we speak in German, we'll have to translate, because I know there's obviously a few Germans that will watch it, but I think there's more that don't speak German.
Yeah, that's right. We only have 10 steel benders in Germany, so yeah.
Yeah, we can always throw in some German here and there when we feel like it.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. So yeah, just 10 steel benders in Germany, and I think USA has the largest amount of active and inactive benders in the past.
Yeah, and the UK and just a lot of European countries that also speak, English.
Yeah. I think here in Europe, most of them can understand English the best. So yeah, we wrote in the last days about new steel bending limits when we talk about unbraced double overhand.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're the guy at the moment who can set the new limits.
Thank you.
by far. And yeah, this what amazes me really is the case that you had a lot of inactive bending time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then for 2 or 3 years you pop up and you were already at elite level, and then you worked for 2 years, and now it's the question, where's the new limit and all of that.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question. For me, I mean, I've always believed the old Gaza saying that I accept no limits, therefore I have none. So I don't think there's any limit per se. I'm just curious to see where the next big steps are. For me, my next several big steps are 3/8 304 stainless, because that's the one thing that I failed on this past workout, which was close, and I honestly wasn't 100%. I forgot to post those videos today. I'll have to post them tomorrow, but I posted about this, that on the first hit I fell over, and this hasn't happened to me in a long time. I essentially passed out for a second and hit the loading pin, so I have a little scrape on my knee. So considering that, and still getting it to about 2 5/8 of an inch, and it's something that no one's done besides Gaza allegedly, and I still think he did it. But and in 304 stainless is a little easier than a King of all shinies. I posted about, in case you guys don't know, that it's roughly 10% easier, is my estimation from past knowledge of stainless. Obviously, I've never done 3/8, but that's like 5/16. So yeah, very close to that. That's my next big step. And then after that, it's just getting to the Gaza bolt, which is the 3/8 by 7 grade 5. I have one that's like my isometric tool right now. It has a, I don't know if you use this term as well, but it has a wobble, is what Aaron and I used to call it. Yeah, because when you roll it across the table, it wobbles. But that's it. So, but I haven't hit it in a while. I haven't hit it since I took my break for the gold, chasing the gold. So since then, I haven't been doing isometrics, and I was supposed to do some this workout, but then I got that bad.
Yeah.
So
your typical marks.
I have been doing a good job of not tearing for a while, but now I'm getting back to used to the big double pad bending, and my hand has to acclimate as well. It's just a different. For me, the IMPs and double pads are just a very different technique. It's not massive, but there's definitely a technique shift, and I'm sure that's true for everybody. So going from one to the other, the way that my hands work, the calluses have to rebuild. Yeah. So the back to your original question. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, the Gaza bolt's the next big step after that, and then the 10 mil 8.8 is probably a little bit harder than the Gaza, but I can't imagine it's more than like 10% harder. So I still think that's doable in the next year or two. We'll see. I hope to have the Gaza bolt done this year, and the 3H304 should definitely happen this year.
Yeah, that would be crazy bands, especially with unbraced. And I think, yeah, of course, it can be done because there were several brands in the past where everybody thought that's too hard, like a 10.9 at 6.5 inch. That's crazy. The pressure amount, if you to need the hole, it's not only the crush or the sweep, also the kink is enormous. So
Do you mean that?
yeah,
Do you mean the 12.9 at 6.5 inches?
yes, right.
Okay, I think you said 10.9. Maybe I misheard you.
Oh, okay, no, no. I think of the 12.9, and yeah, this I never expected to see this band because as I start the whole project from Corridor bending, I just wanted a step above the 10.9, so I choose the 12.9 because I know them from the past. Iron Grip used them for their certs, but it was never certed, and the only one who I saw bend this bolt was Alexander Klimovic, but not in the time limit. So I only created this bolt to force him to do it in in a 5-minute time limit. And what's really crazy was um, it was we don't saw a year or so, yeah, once a year. He didn't uploaded a video of the bands, though I don't know where he was at the moment. And I sent him the parcel to Russia. And 2 weeks later, really 2 weeks after I sent him, and normally it takes more than a week from Germany to Russia for a parcel. And 2 weeks after that, he sent me the video with the 12.9 bolt
Wow.
with shitty light and so on. But I thought I thought that that's crazy because you got we both know you got a package, you got all the steel, and you want to immediately bend it, but there are days where you don't feel like 100%, as you said it. And then yeah, he got this package with all the bolts, and then maybe 2 or 3 or 4 days later, he bent it, yeah, in style. And so he had to be all the time on this level. He had no preparation time, and this amazes me a lot. And
Wow,
I
that's impressive. I didn't realize
I don't
that.
expected it. I thought that yeah, okay, it was only you two who were able to bend this boat at this time. So yeah, but then I saw and then said, yeah, that's great. Because I also wondered why there wasn't a bolt in the USA after the Grade 8, the big Grade 8. We only
So
saw
there
on the
is
FBBC the Grade 8, but I think there is a bolt who's similar to the 12.9. Is it Grade 10?
no, there is a bolt that's probably similar to the 12.9, but I've never bent it at 5/16. I want to find one. They're very difficult. It's called an F911. It
Okay.
was a bolt we messed with way back in the day, but it was at 1/4x6. So at 1/4x6, that bolt calibrated at about 600 pounds. And just for a frame of reference, a 1/4x6 grade 8, which is like, the one everyone does before the bastard, is about 480. So we're talking about 120 pounds heavier, so about 25% harder than a grade 8 at a 1/4 inch. I've never done one at 5/16. No one has, as far as I'm aware.
Hmm.
They're available on the internet. I have to find a good supplier for one, but I would like to try one at some point. I know some people had issues with the 1/4x6's snapping, so I'd be a little concerned about the snap propensities of like the propensity to snap of a 5/16 F911. So I'm almost a little scared of the bolt from that reason, for just a personal safety. But I
Mm.
am curious to try it, and it's on my list of things to try at some point. I might just have to like wrap the center of it with like a small piece of leather, so if it snaps, it doesn't like jab me in the neck.
True. Yeah. Yeah. I
But
saw a lot of grade 8 snaps on
mhm.
videos. Really a lot. Um, Also got a snap on a grade 8, and buddy of me, Karl August Merz,
Mhm.
you know, from the enormous brace bands, also got a snap, but I never saw a 10.9 snap. Really,
Yeah, I think
really.
that's probably true. I mean, it's better quality control over there is my assumption, but yeah, I hadn't had a grade 8 snap in a long time, but then the other shortly before I was going after the gold, I did three back to back to back snaps on the threads of a JH-G8. If you don't
Okay.
know, I'm doing a lot of education here for newer people, especially. The JH bolt head marking on a grade 8 is about 10% harder than a triangle grade 8. So the triangle grade 8's at 7 inches is about the same as a 10.9. It's like 665, somewhere in there,
Mm.
on like the normal Kraling scale. And so a JH is probably like 715, 720. And I did three in one workout, and all three snapped right on the threads, just immediately, just. And then I was like, okay, I think I need to take a break from this stock. And I've bent that same batch before, so I don't know. I think it was just some way I was pressure, like holding the steel that particular day. But yeah,
That's
back to back to
crazy. Yeah.
back. And all
That's
three of
crazy.
them, I
Also, it's crazy to try this 3 times in a row. That's also it's crazy. Not the snaps by itself. Also, that you got a snap and then okay, shit, and then
well,
you do another. Okay, it happens, and then you try it for the third time, and yeah, that's
I'm also the same guy who another snap story that I've shared before on Instagram. I snapped a 5/16 stainless square at 6.5 inch, and it snapped jagged. So there was like almost like a dagger of steel like this, the way it snapped, that was like at neck level because it snapped around 70 degrees. And so I did that, and I was like, "Ooh, that was kind of scary." And then I did it again, and then I snapped that shit again. Same workout twice. Oh wait, okay, but that was when I quit stainless square.
okay.
So yeah, this is
So
not always safe, and I don't recommend stainless square for the faint of heart or those who have families that rely on them or something.
yeah, that's yeah.
At least
I
not at five
also have
sixteen. Quarter is
a
fine.
story because you mentioned it before that you passed out on your last try.
Yeah.
I nearly passed out on a hex stainless steel 8 millimeter. That
Oh, okay.
was 2 years ago. Yeah, I had this on video, and there was I think few seconds where I see nothing, all was black, and I felt in my old rack in my garden hut, and the rack saved me to completely fell over the kettlebells and all the
Oof.
steel there. So yeah, that was but yeah, fall in the rack, and then I was there again. And I also tried it again to get the sweep done, but yeah, zero chance at that moment. So I think
I still
if you're in the mood, to get bends done or your training done, I think yeah, we will do everything to set a mark.
yeah. Yeah, that hadn't happened to me in a long time. My wife said I might not have eaten enough in the morning. I'm not sure, but yeah, it happened on all three bends. I just the only time I fell over was the first one, but I lost like I don't know the word for it even in American, but or English, but I just completely lost my sense of balance on the first hit of all three bends, and but still finished one of them, and the other one, the hex just didn't even move. I tried the chain of all hexes, and it just that online metal stuff is hard. So my FBBC one has a little bend in it. That's another one that's on my big goal list is the 3/8 by 7 hex 1018,
Yeah,
which is the
that's
chain of all hexabastards.
So yeah, crazy, would be crazy to see these bands. Also the other stuff you mentioned before. Yeah, it's great because there's such a big step, you know. All the time there was okay if you bend a 10.9, that's great, and only a few in the world can bend a 10.9 or grade 8. The lists on FBBC or on my lists are very short, and yeah, then the 12.9 showed up, and yeah, only two guys, and yeah, not many others, but 3 to 4 guys were aiming for it or tried it, and yeah.
Yeah, I know Josh is still seems to be trying for it, and I think he can get there if he keeps bending. He obviously has a tremendous base strength for this with his
Yeah, enormous.
Highland Games stuff, and he's taken huge leaps from starting. I mean, I remember watching like Josh, no offense, but I remember watching his early videos and like just cringing at his technique because it wasn't good, but he was still bending like like bastards with just like just couldn't get it under his chin. And I knew he was going to go far if he could just get the technique down, and clearly he has. So I'm curious to see if and when he hits the 12.9. I think that's one of his last goals to when he stays in bending. But we'll see if he sticks around longer than that. From what I've just seen on Instagram.
Yeah, I think so too. So he's enormous strength,
Mm.
great athlete background with all the Highland stuff, and also he's smart. So you need to be smart to be in this area for bands. And
Yeah, I feel like he trains a lot harder than I do, to be honest. He seems like he's always training. I'm like, fuck that guy. I'm exhausted watching his Instagram.
yeah, and also he has a very different technique from what I see. So I think everyone's is bending a little bit different,
Mm.
and yeah, it's for the leverage, the length of the whole body, and I think that's good that everyone's bending a little bit different because your technique is also very unique. And yeah, I Martin Kotte and I don't know if you heard of Martin Kotte from
Mhm.
Germany.
Yeah.
He's bending since 25 years or longer or so.
Oh yeah, I definitely
And
know him. He was around way back when with me, and then I've seen his stuff recently too. So I don't know that I
yeah,
ever talked to him much, but I definitely know of him. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He could also at a constant, very high level if he wasn't that lazy. Martin, if you hear this, you're a too lazy man.
Yeah, I feel like I'm
I'm,
lazy
I'm
sometimes,
very
man.
good with him, so I can say that, and I know that he's too lazy because yeah, he's 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 not bending for half a year, and then he has 2 or 3 sessions, and he is again on a very good level. So if he really stayed at a constant training level, he would be also in a phenomenal level. So yeah, but yeah, maybe it's the age. Martin isn't the youngest yet. So I try also to get some side chaps to force him to bend again and to show us.
Oh, I've been trying to do that with Chad Kovach. Like he's I don't know if you remember or if you've seen his old stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
yes, I've been talking to his brother. His younger brother Todd is into bending. I got a package from which I opened, and I have a video to post about that too. But we've been trying to get him back into bending because he's been lazy as well and just not. Like at one point, he was going to try to cert the red reverse, and then he got really close to doing it consistently, but then he just kind of fell off the map again. And he's been we've been trying to poke him to get back into bending, but we'll see if it ever happens.
Yeah, I saw a lot of clips because his brother shared them on Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he definitely has also come back. So um, and we need another comeback in double overhand bending from Tom from Sweden. Stayed in a very tight contact the last weeks and months, and he was also aiming for the gold. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we shared a lot of opinions and trainings and all the stuff. And yeah, he's a very technical one because
Mm-hmm.
also as Josh, as he started bending Josh and Tom were these guys who started, and after 1 year they could bend the 10.9. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Some started, and after a year they can bend a red nail, and these two guys are in 1 year at elite level, where some other really strong guys need 6 or 7 years or so. And at the beginning, technique was really horrible to watch. But then, he worked so hard on the technique and with all the details, and he have a technical video from my bands, and he stopped at some angles and tried to mark with a painting tool the angles of my arms,
Oh,
the
wow.
wrists, the elbows. So he's all the time I thought I'm very nerdy at this, but Tom is the nerdiest one I expected in this case. So yeah, this surprises me, and yeah, I love this. This was great. So but now with the shitty Iron Mind case, I think he lost a little bit fire on the double over thing. I think he's bending brace at the moment, but yeah.
He told me he's lost all of his focus and time to do it because he's building a deck outside his new house. So I guess it's a good distraction, but he just doesn't have the focus and energy for bending as well as constructing his house. So I think he'll get back to it. I'm sure he will. And yeah, the gold I think set me, him, and Josh just a little off course because we were, very focused and intent on that, and then it just all got disrupted. So at least I know I can speak for myself when I say I was like kind of lost a little focus and energy for a little bit, just for like a couple weeks, but getting myself back into the groove of bending heavy with double pads now.
Yeah, I think this is a very lucky case. So it could also be that you say, okay, yeah, I bend a lot of stuff, and you also bend the A2 bolt at 10 millimeters, which I don't know, but I think it's harder than the 12.9, right?
It was definitely harder. Like I haven't calibrated it, but on feel alone, I mean, it was the the 10 millimeter A2 at 186 millimeters is the total length with bolt head was harder than the 6.5 inch 12.9. So I did those both in the same workout, and the 6.5 inch 12.9 was definitely easier, especially on the crush. Like the 10 millimeter A2 was like the bend radius on that thing was so massive. I mean, the legs on it are basically parallel with it at 2 inches. Like it looks like this. So like when you, as some of you guys may know, when you bend something at that kind of bend radius, it just ramps up so much on the crush, and that's like I'm pretty sure that's a stainless, right? Like it's a lower
Yes, it's stainless.
density. Yeah, it's easier stainless than like the Tina Ball Shinies, for instance, but like it just ramps up so much on the crush. So yeah, definitely harder than the 12.9 inch for inch.
Yeah, that you bend it, it's crazy, but the craziest fact is in one workout. So if you bend these bolts in one workout, and it's not a workout about 3 or 5 hours, it's within an hour, right?
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
like
So you
45
have to
minutes of
be
warm-ups and I bent the
you
bolt.
have to be so much stronger than one of these bolts. This is hardcore for sure. So and I think it's great to see that you're chasing on higher goals, and that we can see that all the stuff who was created for Gaza and something like that, that it can be done with a right video, and everything is right. That's great.
Mhm. Yeah, I've never. I mean, I just think it's all this stuff can be done. So I'm just curious to see how soon I can do it. And I really don't think I trained half as intensely as Gaza, which is really what makes me believe that all of his stuff was real. Like, because that guy was just out of his fucking mind. I mean, Like having talked to him a couple of times, and just witnessing him at that point when he was really active in bending, he was just out of his fucking mind. So
Yeah, I saw videos of
I
him
don't
who
train
was
nearly as
just
intensely as that guy did. I mean, who knows? But the people who doubt him, I'm like, man, have you seen the guy? The way maybe they just haven't seen the way the guy used to train. I mean, so
yeah
and he
yeah
was a great.
nowadays when you bend, I think you're very intense at your bending with with all this talk, but it's a big difference to Gaza back in the days. I saw a lot of videos. Martin saved a lot of the videos and have them, and also Martin stayed direct in contact with Gaza, and he also have some steel from Gaza,
Mm-hmm.
from Mercy Metals. He sent me also a stainless steel hex, 8 millimeter at 6 inch from Gaza, still not touched by here in my garden hut. Yeah, because it should be done in EMPs, and I'm not at this level.
So why should it be done in EMPs?
Because Gaza wanted to do it in EMPs and not in doubles.
Mm.
This was the case, and I think yeah, if it's from him, I think I should do it right, and yeah. But when I'm at this
That'd be a
level, I
fun.
will try it.
That'd be a fun one for me to try if I just feel like fucking around someday. I feel like I could do that. The 5-inch 5/16 stainless is on my list of to dos as well when I get back down to doing short stuff. So I haven't done any. I can't remember if I've done hex stainless in IMPs or not. I may have done it in BBWs, but those are a bit bigger. I think I did it 6-inch in the Bender's Battlefield wraps, which are the longer Corduras, the
Yes.
ones that are like they're like 14 or 16 inches long. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a
The
long time ago.
problem
I
with
should be.
this is that the stainless steel, there's so much variation that it's crazy,
Mm-hmm.
because I had a hex 8 millimeter stainless steel bar from here in the hardware store, and I couldn't move it in doubles. And for 3 years or so, I tried the FVBC stainless hex at a gathering at Carl, and yeah, I tried it with doubles, and yeah, melted it, was like nothing.
Mm.
And I would say, okay, I had do this in EMPs also, but it was the only last bar from Carl, and yeah, this was a bit frustrating because I prepared for a big fight, and I wrapped up, and it was like nothing. So I had always in mind with our hardware steel here, this is really hard, and yeah, it wasn't that hard. So there's yeah,
Mm.
sometimes it's good that you've done it, but it's frustrating if you know that it's not the hard bar. So
Mm. That's true. Yeah. The 5/16 stainless I got, or hex, I should say, I got from FPBC recently. This was 2 years ago. Felt about as hard as an Edgin, so about as hard as like an 8.8, I guess, for your equivalent, like a silver 8.8. I'd say it probably felt like.
okay,
Maybe a little harder crush wise, but about the same kink wise. So,
okay,
um, yeah, I've done a 5-inch edge in bolt, which is the 5/16 grade 5. I haven't done the 5/16 stainless hex, but I also haven't tried it at all. The 5.5 was pretty hard, like at that point, but that was a long time ago.
mm,
So I'm sure the 5 is in my wheelhouse now. I just haven't been doing short stuff. So at some point, I do want to I want to do like a short cycle where I'm doing the 5-inch stainless hex, the 4.5-inch the insane shiny, so the 4.5-inch shiny, and the 4.5-inch Edgin, which is
uh,
the grade 5. Those are all
yeah,
three on the list too. At some
that's that's very interesting to hear, because at the time where I was melting the stainless steel from FPBC, I was also able to bend an edge in an EMPs.
Mhm.
This
Yeah, I'd
was
say they're both pretty similar. I haven't
two or
tried.
3 years ago. So yeah, at the moment I'm not able to do this because I'm building up and do some volume work after the year off. But
Mm.
yeah, I think short I will be there again. But Yeah. So didn't expect it. That's similar, but as you mentioned it, yeah, it could be.
That's my opinion. I mean, it does vary, but that's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, you banned a lot of stuff. In case you banned everything at the moment right now, so yeah. But I think it's very interesting. So after your long break from bending,
Hmm.
where you started, at what level you started again, and why
Um,
did you start it again?
so I started. So I was doing just brace bending for a little while, because I think I'd maybe done just like fucking around with double over, like warming up with 60s and maybe doing some bastard type stuff. And that was, shoot, when did I start that? I think it was 2017. And I did that for about a year until like September of 2018 is when I stopped doing that. That's when I had hit like I think did like a 44-inch Goliath bar, which is the flat, I can't remember the dimensions on that, the half by 1.5, I think it is. And I'd done a couple other pretty decent brace bends at that point, but then I stopped for a while. I met my wife in October of 2018, and I was kind of just infatuated, so I didn't, and I still am. So I didn't.
Okay.
And so I just kind of stopped, and she encouraged me to get back into it, and I think it was November of 2019, when I got back into it, and I started at I did a bastard, big bastard, and huge bastard in the same workout. So that's 5/16 or 8 mil for you by 7, 5/16 by 6.5, and 5/16 by 6, which is 10/18 cold rolled. And I did those all in the same workout. None of them were super hard. And I think I may have done a hex in that workout too. Let's see if I could find that log somewhere. Um, and then the next workout, which was like 3 or 4 days later, I did like a mad bastard, which is the 5.5 inch. I think I might have done a shiny, and then it just kept going from there. So I didn't even have any long edgings. Weirdly enough, I never hit a 6.5 inch edging because I just jumped in and did a 6 inch one day. So it was the only one I had. So that was like probably 2 or 3 weeks back into bending. Back in my earlier days, I had only done a 7 of the edge and bolts.
Okay.
So, random story.
Yeah. So yeah, you started with bastards and you climbed up the ladder as usual. So in a very fast way, of course, but yeah, you didn't start at the edge or something like that.
No, it wasn't anything crazy. I mean, I got to the edge and relatively quickly. Like I said, I didn't have, and I didn't go out and look for 7 inch edgings. Um, so I just happened to have a 6 inch edging that I found in my grandpa's garage. So it was something that he actually like used for some purpose, which was kind of cool. So I did that probably a month. I want to say it was about a month back into bending. I'd have
Yeah.
to go back and look. It might have been 2 months. And then I just kept cutting it down. I went to 5.5, and then I did a 5. And I, went short on a bunch of other shit too. That's when I hit the insane bastard and the fantastic, which is the 4.5 and the 4 inch of the 5/16 stock. Hit both of those within about, I want to say it was like 2 or 3 months, but I really don't remember. I think it was like January or February of 2020. Yeah.
Okay.
And then COVID hit.
Yeah. Yeah, we also got it. So yeah, and at the moment you're training with a coach. You said it
Mhm.
before, and but he's yeah, got your strength training, right? Or also the bending stuff.
He helps with bending stuff, but it's more just like he applies the strength concepts to bending, and I still take creative freedom as I wish, but he helps with just programming intensities so that I'm not just going all out every week, because I just don't. That's what I was doing way back then, and that's why I was just climbing like crazy. And I wish I could keep doing that, but I just don't have the energy, and also at this level, it's just hard to keep hitting
Yeah.
PRs every single week. um, PRs take a shit ton out of my body now. So
Yeah, it's also go at 100% is very, very risky for the whole body, not only for the hands or the shoulders or
oh yeah, absolutely.
your enormous elbow drive,
Yeah,
So
my right
yeah,
elbow hurts a lot. Honestly, it got
yeah,
some tendons in here from the elbow drive.
obviously. I think you should be done more bench press, I think. So
Yeah, more bench press.
yes.
Well, I don't have, it's. Imagine if I had any semblance of upper body strength.
Yeah. Yeah. Upper
That
body
was
strength is
another
very
Adam Glass line that I love. That I listen to that podcast for motivation sometimes.
yes.
There's a line he says in there that's like, these guys that bend these huge bars with no semblance of upper body strength whatsoever, and I'm like, that's absolutely about me.
Yeah. Yeah. But the case is this is a very good case because there are a lot of guys who are very strong in general, like Josh or Tom also. But I think all because a lot of guys talk about bench press and something like pushing big weights, but I think these guys don't have a big bench number. So yeah, they could be strong, but they don't have a big bench number. And I think there are some guys like if I think of the Russian guys like Alexander Klimovich or Alex Pritula back in the days, they never tried bench press. I'm pretty sure, and me also. I never have done bench press in my life. So yeah, I think if you're really strong and have a great upper body strength, it can help you a lot with bending. But I don't think it's a big factor to be at a very high level at this.
Now, I'm just curious if did you or Alex, I guess either Alex or any of those other guys, do a lot of
Yeah,
like Olympic movements? Like, did you
like what?
kettlebell
Oh,
training? Because I feel like those transfer over more than bench press, honestly. I'm just curious.
you were a little bit cut at the
Oh,
sentence.
did you, Alex, or any of you like high-end Russian guys, did you guys ever do Olympic lifting or kettlebell training? Because I feel like
Um,
those transfer over more than bench press, honestly. Like
yeah, yeah. So I only know from Alex that he's done a lot of kettlebell stuff. So yeah, he's training also at home, like me, and has some kettlebells. And me also never tried Olympic lifting, but yeah, did a lot of kettlebell stuff. Yeah, in the beginning of everything, in martial arts, and at the moment I do lots of kettlebell lifting. Yeah, so
okay.
just basics. So just pressing, push pressing, one arm, long cycles like cleans, swings, nothing fancy, no big yeah rounds or something like that. Just basic work, and yeah, I think it's a really good solution for the shoulders because your shoulders don't get hit like the typical pressing movement. And yeah, I think it can help, but I don't know. I'm not a big preference for this because I also don't have big kettlebell numbers. I'm not bad at kettlebell lifting, but it's not at this point where it should be. But I'm working on it. So yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But I know from other Russians who didn't do strength training in general at all.
Hmm.
So just bending, yeah. And yeah, that's okay. There are also guys like Sergey Bragin. He's also with a 10.9 at 6.5 inch
Hmm.
on the list. He's a very strong guy and also has very big numbers in lifting. Um, On the other side, Alexander Denisovsky, also a very strong guy, also does only kettlebell lifting at home. He does kettlebell things and grip things and bending. So yeah.
Yeah, I think kettlebells probably have. I haven't played with them in a while. I don't have any currently. I'd like to get some, but I think they have could have a tremendous carryover to bending just because of the movement and the fact that you're doing a lot of one-armed versus coordinated, which bending is a lot of.
Yeah.
There's a lot of positions in bending where you use one arm more than the other, and people don't think about that a lot, especially with like braced, but even with unbraced. Um, so, and just like the isometric training and the training for the small movements, or not small movements, sorry, small tendons and muscles with um, the instability of kettlebells, I think could have a lot of carryover to bending. I was very interested in them in like a long time ago, like 18, 19 years old, but haven't really messed with them since.
Yeah. I wasn't much interested in the normal barbell training back in the day. So yeah, kettlebell stuff also amazed me a lot, and I tried it and I love it on the first day, and so yeah, I keep it. I mean, it's also a good workout for your body and the overall strength and health, and I think that's the important factor for me. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I still love only. Oh, was a
Cat.
cat?
Yes.
Yeah,
We have
my
a lot of
dog is
them.
laying here and sleeping again. Sleep the whole night and now he's sleeping again.
Must be
So
nice.
yeah, to be an animal is always great. Yeah,
Um,
but I think where I stopped.
we were talking about kettlebell training and transfer to bending.
Yeah, but yeah, I also really love the whole bending sessions where nothing is there, just bending. This
Mhm.
also is great. Warming up with some lighter bars and yeah, and then try it and more fails than wins and yeah. At the moment, not for me because I'm only building up volume and yeah, every week more bars, but that's okay. Yeah, I really like that too.
Where are you at strength wise right now?
I try to build up volume with 8.8 bolts, the black ones, and yeah, try to get 10 in a workout, back for back, and yeah, then I think I will be at this level as I got the stop, and yeah, then I think I will go further.
Okay.
This is the case. This I don't know why, but I started with it. Um, as I started with bending, I had no idea. The just I want to bend the red nail, um, and yeah, after this I want to bend some FBC bars. Because I started with 7 millimeter cold rolled steel,
Mm-hmm.
very common here in Germany, and it's yeah, it's like 25 or 30% lighter than a average red nail back in the days. And yeah, I thought, okay, I bent these, and if I can bend 10 of these in EMPs, I'm ready for the red. And yeah, it worked. So this this was fine. I have done this and it worked. And after that, I said, okay, now I will bend yeah 10 reds in a row. And if I can do this, I'm ready for a 9 millimeter bar or 8.8 bolt. And it also worked. And yeah, so I just built the volume up. Don't go at 100% every time. Um, yeah, had a week or so, or like 4 or 5 days rest, and do it again and do it again. And yeah, it's the consistency that works. So yeah, it's
Yeah, we have a similar training methodology right now. I don't do too many 10 reps. Usually I'm doing like 10 bends in a workout. It's around 60 to 70%. So that's talking like like red nails or red nail equivalent, so it's 5/16 by 7, 10, 18, or 3/8 hot rolled like
Mm.
836, which the stuff I have right now and the stuff I've been getting lately is around it's around a bastard to kink and a little harder to crush usually. So usually I'm only doing that kind of stuff in 10 rep sets, but if I'm doing like 80% or 75% of a goal bar, especially, it's usually sets of 3 to 6 in a workout, and then
Okay.
sometimes some isometrics as well at the end, or like gripper chest crushes. Sometimes will be mixed in, and usually it's like 3 or 4 weeks of kind of mixing in that, so it's a flow of easy 10 rep to hard 3 rep days, and then like on the 4th or 5th week will be a PR attempt, so or PR bend. That's usually
Yeah,
how my
that's
sessions are working right now.
it's really good blend, I think, and yeah, smart. So you have 2 bending days in a week or
No,
just one?
one,
Just
just
one.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Works also best for me. One bending or yeah, a light one and a medium one I had back in the day. This works
Mhm.
fine. But yeah, I think this is the go-to.
Yeah, for a while there, I was doing like a light bending workout and then a hard bending workout in the same week, but that just became too much volume for me. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Understandable. So you said that you done some Krüber chest crushes.
hmm
Now, what for me would be very interesting, what Krüber do you use for this?
Right now, I don't have a lot of grippers because I sold off a lot of
Yeah.
my old collection, but it's a RB 365. So I don't even know if you guys know what those
Okay.
grippers
Yeah.
are. You do?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's a little harder than a 4. It's like a
Yeah.
4.
Okay.
There's like 4.1, 4.2, somewhere in that range, and I'm doing it from sets of 20 to 30. So not bad.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. I've done this also in the past. I tried. Also, I cut down a RB 300. I cut the handles down so that it has the perfect angle and length of the legs from a 7 inch.
Oh, okay.
Uh, yeah, and but that's really hard. So of the shorter legs, this is really harder than the normal gripper, but it's it's a good crush movement. The only thing I have is that it's too narrow at the start. So you are just at, I think, 2.5 inches away,
hmm
the legs, so it's a little bit too narrow, but yeah, it feels good because it has the same dimensions as the last millimeters of a crush.
Hmm. Okay.
And
Interesting. I have
the RBs you can cut at this, and it's still covered. So the spring is still covered in the handle, and yeah, this works. I don't know if this is the case on the other groupers.
hmm, that's interesting. I was just about to say I have some old like heavy grips that I don't use for anything. I might be interested in trying that with, but I don't know how good, bad, or otherwise the springs are in those and the mounting depth. Because I have like an HG 350 that I mean is been the spread is nothing on it anyway because those
Mm.
grippers never last, and I'd be interested to try cutting it, but I don't know. I might try that, and I'll let you know how it goes if I do. I'll post about it if it's a good, bad, or otherwise situation. But I might try it because if I ruin the gripper, fuck it. I mean, it's a shitty gripper anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Got this Krupa crushes. First heard from Martin, and yeah, Martin is a very strong crusher,
Mhm.
and he also just bought some springs. So how should I say? Yeah, normal springs, like you know from a car.
Oh, like a shock, yeah.
Yeah, like a shark, right? But yeah, small ones, and also with different length. And yeah, he have done some pads on the ends and crushed them. And yeah, I tried it also, and this is also a good thing just for the inward crush. And yeah, we try to do lots of nerdy stuff, as I mentioned before.
Yeah, I think I have something similar to I think what you're talking about. I have a small like high tension spring that's about that big. I don't know if that's
Oh
what you're
yeah,
thinking
yeah,
about. And
right.
I
Yeah,
still have it in my garage. I haven't used that in a while. I'll have to start mixing that in again. But I do. I think Aaron gave me that way back in the day, and somehow I kept it this whole time. I'm not positive. So
yeah, just have to shut down there. So yeah, sun is now up here in Germany, and yeah, shines directly cover the face, so this is better. So yeah, when we talk about strength training,
mhm.
I think you just do the basics. I think.
Yeah, it's nothing too crazy. I was just kind of doing a squat day. There was a day where I was doing squats, like axle deadlift, and it's like some other like leg upper back type things. But I've been having some hip problems, so I haven't been squatting in a bit. Um, just it feels like every time I go heavy, it just kind of my hips get fucked up.
Hmm.
So, and then I was doing a chest day, and then another chest day. So it went actually bending day on Saturday, chest day on Monday, a leg day on Thursday, another chest day on Friday. And I was doing squats with bending as well. But lately, it's just been kind of upper body and back. So like a chest day with incline dumbbells and some different bench variation, and then another day where it's like pull ups, which is like where I've been doing the golden potato stuff, and like some grip stuff, like the golden potato deadlifts or axle, like light axle stuff, things to that effect. So pinch, kind of mixing in some general strength training with
Yeah,
bending because it just helps get the body stronger um, and there is some. I think there is some carryover, but it's more just also keeping me active, and I just don't have the capacity to bend, 2, 3 times a week. So
yeah,
better
yeah.
than sitting.
Sounds fun. Sounds fun and good.
Yeah.
And yeah, you mentioned some grip and pinch stuff. Um, I do nothing of them, so I don't train my grip in general, like yeah, the normal grip implements. Also have some grip with some farmers work and kettlebell stuff, but not the typical grip things.
Hmm.
Yeah, because in the past, I think this also stops me a little bit on bending because my hand were really sore of them. Of course, I had to do it a little bit lighter, but yeah, typical grip work I kicked completely out of my plans and heads. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I recover quickly enough that I'm okay. Like I mean the golden potato deadlift PR, and I did another 20 rep set of the pull ups. I did on Thursday. That was Wednesday of last week, and then took Thursday, Friday off, and then Saturday was those huge bends that I posted. So, do you want to go for a little while longer? Because if so, I kind of have to pee. Not to be too much information here, but if we're gonna, I have to take a
Yeah, it's
quick
okay for
break.
me. I'm fine with everything.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, it's late and I have no filter, so I may as well just say what's happening.
No problem. Everything went fine?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Good.
By the way, I have to show this to you.
Oh, yeah.
I have that one on there as well.
Yeah, I'm a little bit sticker addicted and I do also new ones. I don't know why. And
You need to
the,
order some
the
more
fun
steel for me
fact,
to get more stickers.
the fun fact is that I had zero clue about this thing, and I just wanted to start the website at the project, and I had nothing idea how to do this, and I think half half a year I tried to search everything about Photoshop skills and do trial and error all the time, and so that I could do a good website with this, and then I use this to make stickers, everything, posters, everything about steel bending and so on. And yeah, I try to improve this all the time, but yeah, it's hard.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
zero clue. I just started from zero, had nothing about this. Downloaded the free Photoshop uh, um, version and tried it. And now I think every month I got a new one and do this and that, and
okay. Good to know. Yeah, I keep considering doing my own certs. Everyone seems to come out with new ones now, and since there's no longer an Iron Mine cert to go for, I've debated. I've debated making my own. I can't really decide on like what exactly I want, like what types of stock I want to certify on. Like if I want to do a like an American bolts like yours, but with the American
yeah,
version, or if I want to do like a mix of everything. Um, I don't know. I'm still kind of going back and forth on it. To be honest, it hasn't been my focus with stuff going like stress at work and other things keeping me occupied. So, but it's something I'm definitely interested in. If people have opinions on it and what I should certify, let me know.
yeah. I think it's good.
And
I think it's hard to it's hard to exactly know what to do and what to use and rules and pets and so on and everything. But I think the more the more we have to bend or to do, the better it is to keep pushing of each other. And there are also new stuff which has nobody bended. So like Josh did the moose bar and the bolt. The moose bar is it's a great bar, and it's harder than a red nail, harder than a bastard at the same dimensions, and I like this too. So and at the moment we don't have much to bend because Iron Mind. Okay, you can bend Iron Mind stuff, but no one will get certed anymore, and FBBC unfortunately is completely dead, which is very tragic.
yeah, I think he's still accepting orders, but the turnaround time has just been so poor from Andrew, unfortunately. Like I don't mean to shit on him. It's just like the service has gone downhill a bit. So, but yeah, there's still like you. I I keep meaning to try out like Devin's certs, but I haven't tried to yet. But and Josh's stuff. I mean, his is just normal cold roll, but I think he just has a hard supplier or it's Canadian steel, the Moose bar. But I haven't gotten around to buying his stuff yet. I would like to, but there's still a decent amount of suppliers out there. But I agree with you. It's gone downhill a little bit. I mean, obviously, Iron Grip is not a thing right now. I don't know if the Italian ones are still shipping. Was it JB Italia, whatever their name is?
Yes, Grip and
Are they
Bend
still
Italia.
okay?
Yeah,
GB, that's right. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, Okay, so there's still a decent amount of options, I feel like, but it's always good to have more options.
yeah. I think the perfect bar for you at the moment is Josh's Ogopogo bar.
Oh yeah,
It's 3/8 at 8 inches. cold rolled steel, but you also cut them down, and Josh did it at 7 inches, which
Okay.
is, I think, really hard. And yeah, I think it's a bar for you at 6 inches like that. Yeah, I think it's also a great bar. Last week I got a package from Josh for the German benders here. We have a new German bender who is also at the moment at a 8.8 volt level. Yes, also very new, and yeah, the two old ones are chasing, I think, later this year for some stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I need to order some stuff from Josh. He also has some cool stickers. So
Yeah, of course. Stickers are important, you know. Yeah, but the own third would also be cool because yeah, um I think Devon do it with drill rod. So yeah, in the USA the drill rod section is very big, so there's stuff for everyone, I think. We don't have any drill rod here in Europe, really nothing. No one sells this here. So yeah, I think this could also be, yeah. Only problem I think is that the variation is huge with all the normal steel from batch to batch, because I see it here in Germany. I normally use the cold rolled steel 8 millimeter bars for warm up, and in the last years I really, yeah, I don't want to say thousands, but maybe yeah, it's more than 1,000 of these bars in warm ups, and I had batches who were really really soft. Then I had batches that were like an average red nail. Average red nail is hard to say because red nails also vary a lot. And at the moment, I got a new batch with 200 bars, and yeah, this is really really hard for a 8 millimeter bar. It's good, it's perfect for me. But yeah, if you're preparing for some other things, it's maybe too hard. So it's so difficult to get these yeah, in a line. So I think that some variations are okay. If you're talking about 5 or 10% is okay, and if you bend this bar, you bend this bar. So there's not much need of talk, I think. But yeah, if you got the huge steps, this is hard, I think.
Yeah, that's the tough thing for me too, is I'm trying to decide what would be the most appropriate with, and what is going to have a small enough degree of variability that it's acceptable to me. Like, because like hot rolled steel is fun, and I enjoy bending it,
Yeah,
but the variance is so high that you can't
absolutely. Yeah,
you can test it, and even cold rolled is that way too to an extent. So um, that's why I'm debating bolts, but I need to find a supplier where I can get enough bolts of like the same exact head marking. And then especially with like grade twos, I'm sure it's probably similar in Europe with like A2, A4, 4.8, where
yeah,
the
right.
quality of steel is lower, so the degree of variability is higher. So you really need to, especially in America where there's different bolt head manufacturers. I'm sure that's probably true in Europe too. Um, but different manufacturers will have wildly different degrees of strength as well. So it's important to get, like, if I were to do a cert list, for instance, I would want to make sure that I could require in large quantities the exact same bolt with the exact same head markings, because
Yeah,
outside of
right.
that, it's going to increase variability even more. I mean, there's the like 3/8 grade twos, for instance, have calibrated anywhere between um, like 480, which is like a hard bastard, not even that hard of a bastard, to like 620, just
Yeah,
based on head marking and variability in steel. So, and 620 is a little easier than a grade 8. So yeah, I would need to. That's what's made me hesitate. I think is wanting to find things that are that degree of specific and that degree of yeah, similarity. I guess just to minimize variance. Because like you said, I don't want people calibrating or certifying, sorry, it's late, certifying on the same bar and it being, 30% difference. That's just wild. I mean,
Yeah, that's right. And did you thought about length or reps? I mean, reps, it's obviously you will use EMPs, right?
I would probably do similar to traditional FPBC rules. It would be 5 minutes, unlimited wraps. Um,
Yeah.
I've I've debated making some wrap limitations because you and I have jokingly poked fun at Alex's, like he has 5 different layers on his wraps, and like I don't
Yes,
generally
right.
care, but I think to some extent you have to draw some line somewhere, and I just don't know if I want to or just be like whatever, open wraps. And I don't know,
Yeah.
I've debated doing I think it was Bender's Battlefield or somebody way back in the day where you had to caliper your wrap like diameter. So like maybe
Mm.
it's within 1.5 inch total wrap diameter or even like 1.75 inch. I just don't want people getting like
Yeah, that's fine.
outrageous. Um, but I'm not really positive on that. I'd probably just make it open wraps. But and then the thing that I keep seeing in people's rules, which I don't really understand why this became commonplace, is like the nothing on your hands. Like back in the day with Aaron and FPBC, he used to always wrap his impact finger point right, like right here, with electrical tape, and I never thought of that as um, like an aid. It was just really like to help minimize the pain at that joint. So I don't think I'll have a rule on like maybe I don't know. That's another thing. I don't want people to abuse it where they start like covering their hand and shit. But I
Yeah.
don't think there necessarily needs to be a rule against wrapping of fingers, within reason. But I don't know.
I
You might
know
just.
what you I know
I'm trying to think
what you
like I'll
think.
allow it, but then if people start like abusing that, then maybe I'll pull it back because we're always allowed to change the rules, right, Randall? Um,
Yeah, you can do whatever
just
you want. It's your
just
serve.
change
Yeah.
whatever I decide.
Yeah. Yeah, on the first on the diameter, Iron Grip back in the day at their bolts, they had also to show with the caliper that your reps are no more than 40 millimeters, I think. Don't
Mhm.
know what exactly this is in an inch, but I think
50
it's
millimeters is 2 inches, so I think that'd be like 1.75.
yeah, right. Yeah, right.
I feel like that's a pretty
1.75.
generous dimension, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's also I would be fine with it. But yeah, I also try to set the freestyle rep because I tried every style of rep at myself, and if the reps are too thick, I can do nothing. Really,
Mhm.
if I can't grab it right and if it's too thick for my hand, I can no damage to it at all. And if there's someone who's fine with 3 layer of reps or 4 layer of reps and they are really huge, it's okay for me because there are a lot of guys who can't do band anything on this. So I don't think it's much of a yeah, it's not better than a normal 2 layer rep or so. And also if we see
Yeah,
sometimes Alex reps 4 layers, there are layers which are very thin and it's
yeah.
perfectly wrapped. And I don't think it's much more than 40 millimeters in diameter. So
No, that's why I said we just kind of have poked fun before because I don't think his
yeah,
are. I think his might be a little bigger than mine, but they're not outrageously bigger than mine. I think I think mine are 1.4 inches around a 3/8 inch bar. I just calibrated them the other day because I was curious.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, I think I would say you're probably right. He's probably not bigger than 40 millimeters.
yeah. It
Um,
stops a little bit. Yeah,
but yeah, so I don't think his are much bigger than mine. It's more just a joke because he does do like 4 layers of the thinner
yeah,
pads. But I think you're right. I mean, there's a point at which there's diminishing returns. Like you can't feel the bar well enough, and the pads just absorb all of your energy. So I think you have to find that happy place of wrap um, diameter where it's not, a massive handlebar. Because if it's 2 inches, I mean, fuck you, you're like, struggling to get that thing under your chin. You have less mobility, and the wraps just absorb some of the
yeah,
impact. And and you can't keep that tight enough to avoid losing impact in that wrapping. So
yeah, and what I expect is that I don't have a feeling on the bar. So if I just touch the reps and I don't think that there's a bar inside, maybe it's a mind thing, but yeah, then I don't know where to put the force in at the bend. So yeah, my reps
yeah, I can understand that.
are not as thick. Yeah, I saw that your reps are also yeah, for double layer it's not big. It's as you mentioned it, and yeah, I think this is yeah, it's the better solution. So for reps, I'm in the end I'm fine with everything. So
Yeah, I saw like Devin put a rule about you can only use one rubber band per layer, which was interesting. I guess
yeah,
to avoid people like using rubber bands to gain what would that be? Just tension or to gain rigidity in the wraps, which I don't feel like anyone's ever really done. So I don't think there's I see the point of that rule, but I don't think there's a need for that rule unless you really see people start abusing it, where they actually are putting 10 rubber bands per wrap layer to try to get rigidity in the. I mean, I guess if you're doing more than two, then clearly you're trying to cheat. Like, come on, man, let's just let's just
yeah,
stop.
it's also a thing if there's a guy out there who needs to do this to complete the band. Uh, I mean, okay, I don't understand it, and I also couldn't do anything in it. But okay, come on, and then that's it, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
But
one of those things where I wouldn't make a rule until I actually saw somebody abusing it, because I just don't think anyone would want to. But if I
yeah,
would really saw somebody submit a bend with 10 rubber bands or whatever, 20, whatever the crazy number is to make it feel rigid, like then I would make the rule like, okay, now this guy broke it so bad we have to set a new rule.
yeah, that's. Um, but the
Uh,
other case, what you mentioned is taping the fingers and that.
yeah.
Also have this in my rules because on normal training days, and if I bend a lot of volume, I also cover the index finger and the middle finger with normal sport tape to
Hmm.
avoid the cracks here. And
Hmm.
I think it has nothing to do with the ligaments, and so it's just the skin case.
Hmm.
So, for example, every time I bend in single EMPs, I also crack my middle finger here on the inner side. There's also a big crack, and I still love Iron Mind pad bands. Nevertheless, if there's some weird cases going on with their sets, but for me, Um, I think these pads are really good, and I really like the bands in them. And for a single pad, I think it's great to have the how should I say how should I say this in English? Yeah, you can if one bends the stuff in EMPs and the other guy bends in EMPs, you can
Sorry, I was talking to my dog.
no problem. You can say okay, it's nearly the same bend.
Hmm.
So just let me check. Yeah, for you it's late. For me it's early. Um,
Yeah, it's if you like to
Echtbar.
call it, we certainly
Comparable. It's comparable for me.
comparable. Oh
This
yes,
was the
yeah.
word I was searching. It's comparable, and I really like the single EMP bands. Um, with these bands, I also got these cracks, and if I cover this with tape,
Hmm.
I'm 100% sure I can do this band. If I don't have it taped, I don't know because it can crack really, really hard on a really tough bar, so that you don't, can complete this band.
Hmm.
So I saw, from Sergey Bragin, and I also saw from you that when you got the real big cracks, that you still finish the band, right?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Was a little
Yeah.
bit bad.
So yes, yeah, definitely. I did cracks and I still finished the bend. I mean, that was
Yeah,
was
and
done in
this
the
is
3/8 the square.
yeah, it's hardcore, yes, but I don't think that everybody will do this. So if you got little coverings, then yeah, it's a little bit safer to get this bent. And yeah, I think the rules are there for that. I mean, I don't have something against if you have a little crack and you cover it, it's okay. But it's if you got yeah something on your wrists to support or something like other things in the hand, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
you
think
definitely
that
should do that.
that a good steel bender will use it or do it, or it's just cheating for me if you do this and that. Um, yeah, but it's part of the rules, I think, just to
Okay.
make it clear.
Okay. Yeah, I understand it. I just yeah, I think you're right. I think if they're doing it excessively, then but just like we're talking about with wraps and most things, if you're doing it excessively, then you're just trying to cheat. And I don't think that all this stuff from like the super purists about double wraps being cheating. I don't think that double wraps are cheating. I think if you're there's clearly lines where you're cheating when you're heating steel, when you're doing things to actually gain an advantage, when you're
Yeah,
using tacky or whatever. And there hasn't been that many people who have done this, but um, I don't know. I just think outside of that, it's just find what you like.
yeah,
Find the
yeah,
technique you like, find the rack dimensions
yeah,
you like, and compare, apples to apples.
yeah. I also think, yeah, I think that's it's okay, and I also think that every other good bender or most of them are yeah on this case too. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
there
the
will always be some persons. There will also be some persons who say, yeah, double pads are cheating and so. So for me, that's bullshit because why it's cheating? It's a normal style. You can wrap it, you can bend it. If you don't can do it, then yeah, work harder for it. And
yeah, I mean, I touched on this with the Toadies podcast a bit, and to me, double pad bending is like it's kind of like comparing new style powerlifting. You're not into
yeah,
powerlifting, but the newer style, a lot of people do, bench shirts or squat suits, or I don't even think like we're getting into multiply per se when you compare, double pad bending to powerlifting, but people using that versus like these guys that are super purists where it's like, oh, you shouldn't have to use any rubber bands or do it in a washcloth or whatever, like, feet
yeah,
stuff. They're really talking like 1940s powerlifting where you didn't have anything, like belts were barely a thing. And like a lot of that
yeah,
stuff,
right,
some of it obviously is done to gain an advantage and to get bigger, in this case, bigger bends done. But really, most of it is just a lot of athlete safety. I mean, I didn't feel safe bending in IMPs, especially at a high level. I mean, I think I showed the picture of my giant skin tear when I went for the gold the second week in a row when Randy asked me to do it, and
yeah,
I just didn't feel safe bending in those things. I mean, the tears I get and the pain I get in double pads is a lot less. So I
yeah, of course,
I've always disagreed with what Adam said about pain should be your governor. I don't think that's bullshit. Why would you want pain to be your governor? I mean, you're going to have pain with bending or any physical activity, but it shouldn't be where you're tearing your hands apart to bend in some small purist bullshit pad. That just seems unsafe to me. It's like sure sometimes I squat without a belt, but if I'm going for something super heavy or I'm competing, I'm going to put a belt on and knee sleeves on because it's safer to do heavy weights and that you know
yeah, for sure,
with support gear. So I don't know.
right. So yeah, we have 1 hour and 20 minutes. I think it's very late
It is. It's quite late.
for
I'm
you.
starting to fall asleep. So yeah, I think I'm
So
gonna. It's like 11,
yeah,
11 here almost. 11:20.
yeah, had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, this is a blast, man. If you ever want to do it
Yeah,
again, let me know. We should always even try to do like a multiple people thing at some point if we could ever figure that out. But
Yeah, I
Yeah,
also thought about it. This would be very cool. I mean, it would be cool to have Josh and Tom here or any other guys. This would be cool. So yeah.
yeah, great. Let me know if you figured out. It was cool to do a live one versus. That's why I kept pushing you to do a live talk versus me just doing questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, man. It was a
Good.
blast. And have a good rest of your Monday.
Yes. Then good night and all the best, Eric.
All right, you too. Bye.
Okay. Bye.